Oh, yeah. What's up, everybody? How's everybody doing tonight? Appreciate y'all for coming out on this wonderful, wonderful Thursday evening. Tonight, we're doing something a little bit different. Tonight, we are doing a new segment that we are going to call Thicc Talk. Thicc Talk is going to be a podcast-style talk show where I get a couple of my friends around and we're just going to, we're going to get to the genuine conversation. All right? And I can already see them laughing at me. So, fuck you guys. All right? Waiting for the chuckles. Waiting for the chuckles. There they are. All right. All right. Well, let's look at their ugly mugs then while we're at it. How about that? How about that? Huh? Look at those guys. Look at these dudes. Look at these dudes out here. Look at that. Look at that smug ass.
Dakota turned his light off.
Oh, God. Turned. I have to unmute and everything now. I guess I can unmute now. What's up, everybody?
God, he's here.
Maybe.
Oh, God. Oh, God.
Hey,
So-
you can hide Adam's thing if you right click it and only show non-video participants or whatever. You can hide his face because we don't want to see that. At the bottom, uncheck that.
Oh, wait, no. Didn't work. It's not working.
Click. Okay, yours is broken, I guess.
Mine's broken. Anyways, so let's get into it. These are our 4 guests we have today, starting from the top and moving our way around. First up, we have Bowling Kid, streamer, member of Team Underworld, who's been around for quite a while now. Next to him, we have BT Productions. Oh, you're Sea of Thieves streamer, been around for a while. Big Sea of Thieves streamer. Next to him, we have FinaleRIPS, another streamer, good friend, been around for a long time. And last but certainly not least, we have Joinedthegame. Joinedthegame. What's going on? What's going on, boys? How you doing this evening?
Fantastic.
Fantastic.
Chilling.
Chilling. All right. You're all right. We out here. Are we playing The Bachelor? No, we are not playing The Bachelor, Smexy.
Oh,
We are not.
Oh, I'm in the wrong channel. I gotta.
I'm in the wrong voice chat then.
All right. Well, you know what, guys? Let's just jump right into this, shall we? Bowler, man, you've been in the gaming scene for a while now, bro. What got you into gaming, dude? Just let us have it.
OG days back, probably Sonic, man. Original Sonic.
Okay.
I don't know how many controllers I smashed on my Sega Genesis.
Sega days. The Sega days. Oh my god. All right.
Yeah,
Classic.
All right.
going from that, jumping right to N64, Super Nintendo, play all our Mario, man.
All right.
OG days.
Sounds good. BT, man, what about you, man? Where's your gaming career get kicked off at?
I mean, I played a little bit in high school, but it really didn't get like crazy until after college.
College. All right.
Yeah.
So what game would you say, like, really though locked you in? You know what I mean? Like, you're like, I need to play this.
I think Sea of Thieves. Man.
Sea of Thieves. Okay.
I love Sea of Thieves.
Dad, I'm with you, man. I'm with you.
You
Sea
know
of
what I'm
Thieves.
saying?
Sea of Thieves has definitely been growing over the past year, so that's a good thing, I think, for it.
I love it. When I was a kid, though, I played the Mario on the original Nintendo with my cousins. That was it.
There you go. So you're just a late bloomer. You're just a late bloomer, is all.
Yeah. For sure.
Okay. All right. Respectable. All right. Finale. You're up, my guy.
mean, I was playing, like Bowler, Sonic, but definitely before that, Duck Hunt, that little dirt bike
Duck
game on
Hunt.
Nintendo. But what really got me into it was definitely Halo 2. Like, it's always been multiplayer games, so never really a single player person because I always had an older brother. Twisted Metal was a huge one too, PlayStation 1. But like the thing that really kept me in gaming was definitely Halo 2 and the multiplayer aspect of it.
Oh, there you go. So what about the other Halos? Not so much, or just?
I mean, I obviously, I competed in Halo 2, Halo 3, Halo Reach, but definitely what
What set it
ruined
off?
my life, Halo 2.
What ruined his life?
100% Halo 2.
All right, Join. Finish this up, man. What got you into gaming, bro?
My grandma, actually. My grandma got me into gaming. She
Okay,
had
that's
the
different.
Super Nintendo with Chrono Trigger, Lufia, shit like that. And then she had a PC with the old 3DO games, Might and Magic 6, 7, 8, things like that. So, yeah, just jumped right in with like RPG, adventure games, stuff like that. And eventually it turned into like Donkey Kong. And then, got the Super Smash Brothers and Conker's Bad Fur Day on the 64 for the multiplayer. Badass.
See, like when I think of a variety gamer, of everybody that I've played games with, and I've played games with tons and tons of people, Join the Game has probably played more games than anybody I've ever seen in my life, guys. Like,
But the problem is I don't finish the games. That's the problem. Like I played a shit ton of games. I just probably didn't finish them.
right?
True. Feel that. That's me.
All right. Well, let's see here. Kind of losing my train of thought for a second there. Sorry about that. Oop, I accidentally unmuted my other stream. All right. Consoles. Bowler, back to you, man. What was your first console?
I'm pretty sure I had a Dreamcast and I played Crazy Taxi for a while, but my first console that I had that was like my own was like Sega. I had a Sega. I don't know. I think I've had every Sonic game known to man to come out, including fucking the Tetris one, the Dr. Mario on the Nintendo. Well, I've had literally every console except PS1.
Oh, no shit.
And now PS5 and
The new ones, yeah.
But
The ones
I've
that
had
are
every single one up to Xbox One.
really.
Yeah, they don't get that much use anymore. Straight up computer, man.
I
But
feel
yeah, Sega was the best, man. I would put hours on that whenever I could. Whenever I'm not getting yelled at to go outside and do something.
right. BT, first console, man. Well,
My dad had a Sega Dreamcast as well.
Dreamcast.
Yeah, so I got to play Sonic on that.
There was it wasn't Madden. It was a football game on the Dreamcast. What was it? Was it no? That I remember that for Nintendo 64. That shit was
Fire.
that put it on.
I can't remember.
Break people's bones and shit.
Oh man, that's gotta be a foul.
Oh, that game got aggressive.
Oh my god. Finale first console, buddy.
Had to have been original Nintendo. At least that's what I remember. Original Nintendo.
Nintendo. All right. Joined.
Said dunk hunt.
PC and Super Nintendo.
Oh, so you were fresh into the PC game then? Huh?
Yeah, I mean, because one of my first
Sorry,
games was those Might and Magic games, and they were exclusively on PC. They were only on fucking disc. I even bought I don't even know what game it was. Some weird RPG that was on floppies. Got it from the dollar store.
Floppies.
Yeah, bro.
Floppies.
Road Rage.
Road Rage.
Rage.
Didn't they just make a remake of that too?
I think they might have.
They just made a remake with like better graphics and that shit, and it's like Blitz for that now. It's incredible.
But that game is ridiculous.
It was a blast. I do remember that one. That one was
They hit people
definitely.
with chains on that game.
Yeah.
I
So
loved everything about it.
One of those games you never would have thought of again until somebody
Yeah.
mentions it, and then you're like, oh my god, the PTSD.
So just for clarity here, if you guys had to pick one game and one game only, I know we kind of narrowed it down for BT, but one game and one game only that really set apart from everybody else, from right when you got started into gaming, what would that be?
Twisted Metal.
Twisted Metal. Okay. Anybody else?
Probably Super Mario 64. Probably got me pretty good.
I think A Link to the Past. Zelda: A Link to the Past.
Link to the Past. Okay.
I think that's the one that I actually played through all the way, and that one got me hooked the most. Like into gaming, I should say.
And BT, we already know, man. The Sea of the Thieves.
What about you, Thicc?
I was gonna say, what about you think?
For myself, I think it would have to honestly be the game that just drew my attention from
It's
the
Honey
get-go.
Pop, guys. It's Honey Pop for him. Don't let him lie to you.
It's Hello Kitty Island Adventure. Get it right, all right.
Viva Pinata, baby.
Nah, it's got to be World of Warcraft, man. When I got into the World of Warcraft craze back in, and don't get me wrong, I played video games beforehand, but when I got into World of Warcraft,
Captivating.
it was a whole new gaming experience at that point. You're talking about a game that virtually has no end. There's always something to do for this game, and it really grabbed my attention, and it's still grabbing new people's attention. It's getting old players back. I mean, Bowler, and you know what I'm talking about, huh? What'd you say, Finale?
Grabbed my attention, and I've never been in any game like that. So.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure we've all dabbled our hand in the World of Warcraft at some point. So
Both hands usually. Grinding the pepper, you know what I'm saying?
Maybe.
grinding the pepper. But yeah, man. So for your guys' own individual games, like, would you say when you were playing them, okay, think back to the time you were playing them, would you consider them on an uprise of popularity or on the decline?
I feel like it's Zelda, so yeah, it had to have been popular.
Same Mario probably one of the most
Golden
popular
Age.
games ever.
The golden age. BT,
Yeah,
that
Super
question
Mario 64 was always
that question probably links more to you, man. Like, would you say Sea of Thieves is on an uphill or a downhill right now?
Nah, I'd say it's like plateaued right now. If anything, it's
Plateau?
just kind of there. There's no gains, there's no real losses. I mean,
You need Summit.
they just kind of dude. Summit, if we had Summit still in the community, the game.
Summit, I feel, is like who put the game on the map to start, and then it took people like Pace, Boxy, Beard.
They like shunned Summit. You know what I mean? He couldn't even do the dev stream because the devs got so much hate for even thinking about letting him on, and they had to cancel his stream.
That's crazy.
They just hated him. It was mad.
Horrible
They
for
all
community.
thought he was super toxic. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because of his play style. When everybody else in the game, you know what I mean?
Everybody
All
else
the
in the game does the
streamers
same
doing
thing.
the same thing.
Yeah, you
Everybody
can't.
just targeted Summit, man. But if he would have kept in there, I think we would have had massive growth in the game. But as of right now, everybody's just kind of chilling.
Do you think they're on the right
Not
path?
keep
Would you
it.
say they're on the right path with all the new updates that they've been doing?
I mean, the updates are nice. It's good for keeping who we have, But as far as attracting new players, I'm not really sure.
Fair
They
enough.
could do a little better. Nobody really knows about that game,
Right on.
Nobody has any idea. Someone I was talking to on the game recently, he was like, "Dude, I just bought the new Xbox," and he was like, "I seen it in like the Microsoft store or something like that. Something triggered it. You know what I mean?" He's like, "If I never saw that, yeah," he's like, "I would have never known about the game." He's like, "I never knew about it up to this point. The game's been out since what, 2018, March of 2018."
Something like that, right?
He had no idea about it, and that's all I hear. That's all I hear. Way too much. So nobody knows about the game.
Right.
If more people knew, I feel like more people would play.
I agree with that.
They need to get a commercial on the Super Bowl, right?
Yeah. Think about that.
That's the game changer right there. What game is everybody into right now, man? Like, Bowler, what game are you into right now?
I mean, mostly WoW. Like, I play World of Warcraft probably 15, 20 hours a week, stream it about that. But I just tried Valheim for the first time on stream yesterday, and that's gonna be a game changer. It's literally like taking RuneScape and World of Warcraft alike and kind of like sandboxing it together and making like an adventure out of it. Honestly, you could probably just say it's like Sea of Thieves but Vikings,
True.
like on land. It's pretty intense, honestly. That got my attention big time. First hour of learning what to do was rough, but once you figured it out, the game was. I'm addicted. I can't wait till next time I play it.
There you go. Is that going to be a regular on your stream from now on?
Yeah, since I co-stream, it'll probably be like an every other week thing. And obviously we'll mix Phasmo in there, so it'll be like every other week I do Valheim and every other week I do Phasmo. But we'll probably do some stuff off stream just to like keep it up to date, I guess, with the game and make sure like people aren't just watching the boring parts of it.
Right on, right on.
How'd you like that? You're talking about Phasmophobia, right?
Yeah, well, Valheim, but yeah, I play Phasmo as well.
How'd you like the AI update recently? Did you feel like it fixed a lot of the, I ran around the corner and now I'm safe from the ghost?
So I haven't played the normal version yet. I've literally only played beta because I feel like beta's a lot harder.
Yeah.
But I've messed around way too much to say I just run around the corner and be safe from the ghost. We're all like yelling and shit as the ghost is hunting, trying to make it more fun.
Mm-hmm.
But honestly, it's a game that still, jump scares me every once in a while because I don't expect there to be a ghost right in front of me when it's hunting.
I play with people who have never played the game before, and that's when I get the scared because they scream, and I'm just like, what the fuck?
Yep.
The dinner party. You got to do the dinner party, bro. A small house, throw all the dishes on the table, and you just wait until it shows up or run circles around the table until it kills somebody. It's great. Great time.
Oh my, we haven't done that yet. We've done roulette where we'll go in dark and we'll find the room that it's in and we'll all just sit in the corner until it starts empty.
That's the game for the bros right there. It came out at a good time.
Right.
Exactly.
That sounds kind of fun. That sounds kind of fun. I'm not gonna lie, that game always looked boring to me. But like doing stuff like that, I can watch that.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll go in with
sure.
like just
That
candles and stuff.
hysterical.
We'll just be like, all right, no flashlights, only candles. You have to try to like figure out where everything is with candles.
It's a fun game with friends. If I play it by myself, by myself, I probably honestly will still get a little spooked. But
I feel like
with
that game
friends,
has a lot of potential, man. Like if the right developer picks up the contract for that game and can really put some real time work into that game, the ideology behind that game was there. You know what I mean? Your in-game voice triggers the ghost and shit like that. Like that factor alone is something that no other game really has.
And they started adding it so if you have like a female character or a male character, it'll react differently to your character as well.
Oh, really? I did not know that. Cody, what are you playing these days, man? Not to cut everybody off. What are you getting into right now?
Not even a game at this point. It's a lifestyle. Just Escape from Tarkov, most toxic fucking thing you've ever played in your life.
Do tell.
Almost 1,000 hours in. I was so reluctant to play it, but it's just like you have to be a different beast to play that game. It's tough.
What aspect of that game is really what's keeping you there, man?
Just the adrenaline you get from killing a team of 3 or something, because it's very unforgiving. So to be able to wipe a team or whatever, it's just I don't know. It's pretty much a horror game at this point because you randomly be walking there and boom, a bullet's in your face.
How many times have you killed your teammates? And be honest.
It's under 10, which is surprising, but
I'd have been kicked out of the team at that point.
That'd be my first problem. That'd be my biggest problem.
Have you guys seen that video? I know Joined knows these guys. It's the Viva La Dirt League video where they first try it. And they come up with this strategy where if they run up on their teammate, they have to wiggle, like sidestep left and right. And the one guy yells at another guy, and he's like, wiggle. And the dude can't hear him because he muted his mic or whatever. And the dude's yelling at him, wiggle, 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 wiggle. Just blasts him. And he's like, dude, what the hell? He goes, dude, I told you to wiggle. Oh my god. Yeah, dude. Viva La Dirt League, for those of you who don't know, is an amazing content creators, man. They're hilarious with that stuff. So check them out on Facebook, man. They're definitely worth the watch.
Looks stressful.
It does, and I don't think I can handle that kind of gameplay. That's just me. But I mean, would you say it's harder to play by yourself, or would you have to go in with
actually, I would say it's easier because if you see someone, just to shoot them. Like you don't have to confirm with 4 other people before you shoot. So
I mean that makes sense.
Starting off, it would be harder, but once you get the game a little bit more and know the maps and spawn points, then playing alone is probably easier.
Do you spawn on the same map every time, just different spawn points, or are there different maps actually?
No, there's different maps. And I think if the game ever gets out of beta, they want to actually take all the maps and make them one big map. So
That'd be
Oh, that'd be
interesting.
sick.
I don't know how that would be. But
Speaking of map changes like that, BT, would you say that's something that Sea of Thieves could use to get some new people in? I feel like people are too comfortable with all the
Yeah,
islands and whatnot, and it's kind of like everything that made the game what it was. Like everybody's so accustomed to it now, like tucking on somebody's boat. Like everybody knows all the major tuck spots on a boat anymore, so it's like you don't have that factor anymore. You know what I mean?
fuck the volcano.
We need something. Yeah, see, they added the roar.
Hmm.
You know, they got a bunch of volcanoes. Like, you know, maybe something else they could add. It would definitely help. You know, I don't know what they can come up with, but something.
Like
Anything.
I think it would open up like the ability to have more servers too. Like kind of like how PUBG has all their different maps because they have all their different servers. You know what I mean? I think it would expand the player base enough to kind of leave people alone from time to time so they could do their PvE adventures and stuff like that and still run the risk of running into people PvP style. But I feel like it flattens out the curve of having to have 5 to 6 boats on a server before they get server merged. You know what I mean?
Making a different part of the map and adding to the existing one instead of like replacing something. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Adding a whole new section, just like they did with the roar, which is just, for those who don't know, just a volcano-ridden death trap. It's a disaster.
It's
a
the worst
shit
place
show.
in the entire game. If you ever go there, you'll have a miserable time. It's absolutely.
But it's
terrible.
great for fishing.
It's great. It's useless for just
If
about
you
everything
can
else.
dodge fucking
Yeah, as long as you
fiery
can
boulders.
dodge volcanic rocks, you know, and things of that nature.
I think
That
they
would
need
definitely help.
submarines.
Oh my god.
Wooden submarines. That's what they need.
Well, I heard someone
That would
talking
be
about
crazy.
hurricanes adding to the game and stuff
Tsunamis
like that.
or something like that. Yeah.
Blowing your boats over and
Even
shit.
more like life in the water, you know,
Yeah,
like
something other
whales or
than
something.
whales, dolphins, something like that.
Narwhals.
Yeah,
Narwhals.
yeah, dude,
He said
something.
narwhals.
It would be insane. It'd be nuts. There's
I
so
need
much
like
they can
some
do haven't
perfect
yet.
storm waves.
Dude,
That
you
would-
know what I mean?
that would be
Again,
The waves are alone. I feel like
can't perfect hit rich.
that. Yes, that is definitely. I don't think that they'll work too much on that because it's a problem, but it's an even based problem. Does that make sense? Like it's a problem that affects everybody equally for the most part.
Yeah, it's never going.
You know what I mean? So hit rage in that game is not going to get really a lot of attention right now, but
I'm
yeah.
still hopeful though that they'll put out some new stuff over the next couple months. You know, a new map edition, something like that.
that would be
Something
cool.
groundbreaking.
Something to definitely grab the attention of even some of these bigger streamers and stuff like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, bring some people
Submarines
back
and
to the
George
community.
Clooney.
You know,
That's what they-
something, literally anything. They just need to keep pushing. They can get it. It'd be awesome.
All right, this question is going to be more towards Bowler and Joined because I know they are more into the MMO style gameplay. When you play an MMO, what are your thoughts going into the MMO? Like, what are you looking for the up close and personal character? Are you more of the ranged character, spellcaster? What's your thought process?
You know me. Gotta be far away. I don't want nobody to hit me in the face.
You see this? Moneymaker.
Yeah.
Okay?
I'm just sitting in the back, blowing up the DPS meter on top. That's all I want to do. I don't want to be anywhere near the fight. I don't want to be taking damage. I just want to stand back and shoot things.
Arcane Daddy.
Yo, Daddy Arcane, baby.
Joined, you spent some time there, man. What do you think?
I mean, pretty much every MMO was just always classically just the tank. You know, I just like having that healer with the hand in my back pocket, and I could just run around and fuck around and do whatever I want. And then if something goes wrong, I can blame it on the fucking DPS. Be like, shithead, you pulled the aggro, you asshole. It's your fault. Where's my heals? God damn it! I know I pulled the whole dungeon, but heal me, you fuck. So, just feel like once you get your order down of your moves, it's just one of the easiest jobs to do is just tank. So I can sit here and do it with one hand while I drink with the other one. It's just a lot better.
When you were playing Might and Magic, do you remember what you were playing during that? Or
So Might and Magic, the classic games, you have 4 characters. So usually you just separate like a classic D&D party, right? You have your tank, you have your DPS, some kind of rogue or something like that. You have a caster and you have a healer. So you actually control all 4 at the same time. So usually I pick the character. Let's see, I was a preteen, so I think I just picked all the characters with the biggest boobs. I think that was my game plan for that one.
Sounds about right.
Yeah.
There you go. BT, do you got some experience in the MMO games, bro? At all? Not really.
Played
Would
RuneScape for a couple months. When
Okay.
I was like 8.
Did you
That was
enjoy?
lit.
Did you enjoy
Chopping
it,
down
or
those trees?
Yeah, the game was tight. It was
What made you
weird.
stop playing it?
I don't know. I think you know what I mean. I think just time passed, and I was just gone.
Oh, I was hoping
No,
it was some
okay, well,
traumatic story.
Because
Like,
honestly,
asshole
I'd still
tricked
play
you.
that game. I was just thinking about it. It's funny that he said something about it just before, because like I would still play that game. I was thinking about going back.
Would
Just
you?
giving it another run?
I know you're in the process of trying to get a PC right now. Would you consider getting back into MMO style games when you finally get your PC, or are you still gonna stick with the Sea of Thieves stuff?
Yeah, honestly, I mean, I wouldn't mind dabbling. There's nothing I would stream.
Your mic's kind of breaking up a little bit there, brother.
They like. I'm probably just not talking loud enough. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, you're good.
Like I said, it was I'd probably just stick to gaming offline with it. I wouldn't mind doing that off stream and stuff like that. It's not that wood streams because everybody likes Sea of Thieves.
Right.
They don't really like me playing nothing else. But I would definitely, once I get a PC that can handle some stuff, I would definitely just hop right in.
There you go.
I'm trying to expand. That's really why I want a PC, because there's so many more games
Right.
to play. You've got so many more options. Like, you can go find some stuff like this in the store on the Xbox, but it's gonna be terrible.
I'm glad you
And
mentioned that, because that kind of leads me to my next question. Everybody knows that consoles, their ultimate goal right now is to compete with PC. Okay?
True.
Would you say that consoles are on the right track to finally be on an equal playing field with PC?
Absolutely.
Really? Okay, we got some. Okay, now we got a little conversation going here.
The only reason I do, right, is because a friend of mine, the guy I was just with, he has a $2,000 setup. His computer is flawless.
Right.
He gets 200 plus frames on any game you want to play. And he can run a 1080p stream flawlessly.
Okay.
I have the new console right here. I'll tell you what, I've played on both of them thoroughly. I'm seeing very little differences.
Really?
I've compared load times. I've done side-by-sides on the same internet, both Wi-Fi and wired. I'm seeing very little difference in performances nowadays. Like, sure, you got a $4,000 or $5,000 PC, you know what I mean? Some mineral oil cooled submerged nonsense, you know what I mean? Sure. Obviously nobody's gonna be in the same level as you. You know what I mean?
Right.
You got a $3,000
It's essential oil cooled, okay?
part in your computer as opposed to other people's whole PC costing something like that, then sure. You're out of the range. You're in a different game. But as far as entry level stuff, you know what I mean? I would say that they're on the right track. I'm thoroughly impressed with all the new consoles that are out.
All right.
Test the PS5.
All right. Now we got.
He makes a good point. He's talking about entry level gaming. Yeah, I would just say, unless you're going to stick that money to get, quality PC. I mean, he's right.
Absolutely.
Nowadays you can just get a console. You should be running, the same as even average level PCs. As long as we're just talking about gaming, then yeah, absolutely, because that's what console is, right? You're just
anything other than that, we're definitely not.
Because my thing is like, well, I run my games, I can mine some bitcoins on my computer, I can buy a Tesla now. So I'm just saying. Yeah. But, I mean, I will agree with that. Yeah, it's as far as unless you're willing to really put that money in, yeah. At the same time, the reason I haven't updated my consoles is just. Like, I think my last console was the PlayStation 3. I think that's where I kind of left it for a while. And that's just my thing is that I put in for my gear. It's pretty good, and I just let it sit honestly for 5. I think the last time I upgraded, or before the last time I upgraded was probably almost 10 years before I upgraded again. That was just because the games I played didn't require so much to run it and run
Right.
it
Yeah,
at
now
the top
now
settings.
that like Xbox and more games can be on PC, if you're already a PC gamer, there's no real reason for you. I'll definitely say that they give you no reason
To switch
to
back.
buy one of their consoles
Yeah.
if you have like real good equipment, you're real into it already. Even if you don't, you just have like I said, an average or entry level PC, and you're into it. They really don't give you any incentive to be like, all right, I need to
But
go get that
that
one. You
is
can get all the games
other
on
great
PC.
thing.
You know.
Well, that's
They
my
don't
other
really
great
give
thing
you
is,
much.
the games with PC is, my sleeve of discs that I have somewhere with all my old ass games in there. I still play that. So that's my
Exactly.
problem with some of these newer consoles that aren't doing the, what is it called? Reverse,
Backwards compatible.
backwards compatible. If they're not doing that, I feel like you just lost out on years of your gaming. Because if the
But you're
power
gonna
goes down, you just
PlayStation
want to
3
play the
store.
original Halo, right? But that's what I'm saying. So as long as the console allows you to do that, otherwise, with your computer, I could go into my Steam library and have access to all these games. It doesn't matter what year they came out.
I mean, and you got to think about emulators too. I mean,
right?
emulators
those exist on computers.
yeah.
You literally don't even need the console anymore. You could run.
I mean, you got it on your
Super
phone now too.
Nintendo,
So
Phone's a little mini emulator. Bowler, you were
Although,
shaking
I
your
will
head,
say-
man. You were shaking your head. Let's hear your thought process on this.
I mean, he hit it pretty good. Like entry level, you buy a computer, $800. It can run like a tad better than a console for whatever it is, 500, $600 with everything included.
Right.
But when you get to like anything past that, like you got to think there's no limit on your computer basically. I mean,
Right.
your internet's basically your limitation. That's what it's going to come down
Absolutely.
to.
Right.
But when it comes down to like, let's just say you want to play a single player, you want to play Sea of Thieves on your own, on your shit, no internet, by yourself. It's just gonna, if you have everything maxed out on your computer and everything maxed out on a console, there's no improvement on console. It's just gonna be way better experience on a computer. You have 240 hertz, you have 3600. Everything will look obviously better.
Would you
Feels
say?
so much better.
Would you say integrations to consoles, like I'm surprised they haven't done it yet, even with these new series. Like this has always been a topic, but things like Discord apps for the console.
The problem with that is licensing, though. I mean, they could do it. Xbox can clearly just get a Discord app, but it's you got to worry about licensing and paying a portion of it to like Microsoft would have to pay like Discord basically to get their app on their system.
Right.
It's not just something they can get on their system. So I
But
mean,
soon,
They had Skype.
but soon,
Microsoft
but soon.
loves right now.
come right with that Discord app. Don't you worry, baby.
The only thing, the only problem I have with like games when they like, I guess normal games that you get like cross-platform, so like computer to let's just use 360 for example, or Xbox One or whatever they're up to now. If you do like a normal storyline, everything's based. There's basically nothing they have to change of what's happening in real time. But then if you go into like a PvP portion of it, let's just use like a Call of Duty or something like that, where like you can throw 20 smoke grenades and then all of a sudden the Xbox is trying to render too much at one time. A computer does that 10 times faster. The Xbox might lag a little bit. Computer will never lag if it's midline or up to date. And that's like one thing that the computer has going for it in that segment that I would like.
So I am being told right now that Microsoft is in the talking process with Discord
Discord. Yep.
Yeah.
about buying
like
their.
10 billion or something.
Yeah, they're trying. They're
Come
trying.
on,
So they're
that's
trying. They're making.
money.
They're making the attempt. So I mean,
Yeah.
adding that though, do you think it's going to take it to that level, or is it still shy of that?
I mean,
No,
you're
yeah,
still
it's still
stressing
shot.
that you're still stressing the same system that isn't upgraded.
True.
That's the only thing. So now
Yeah, I
not
think
only
it
are you
might
running the
add more
game, you're gonna run an
problems.
app too.
Yeah, I was gonna say that. I think it's gonna have more problems.
Like I
think
said, it
it's-
only comes
I think
down
it
to
might
internet with
overload
it.
it.
Cody, what do you think?
I'm kind of on board with them. I mean, obviously PC Master Race, but like,
We got a question from chat. This is Dio. He says, "Do you guys believe that they have avoided boosting consoles to PC level due to controversy of console versus PC being a like over cash, pretty much, like money wise? You think that they're avoiding it?"
Well, I mean, the normal person isn't going to go out and drop $2,000 on a computer when they can buy, you know, a $500, $400 Xbox for their kid just to play. I don't think realistically, parents are going to go out and spend, you know, that extra double, triple, quadruple the price just so they can play games.
True.
I mean, I think the consoles have kind of the same market plan as Call of Duty, right? You just put out another
pumping
one,
them out.
and then another one, and because otherwise you buy a computer, and like I said, honestly, unless you play very, very intensive games, you're going to have the same rig, the same parts in your rig for 4 or 5 years before you even really need to upgrade.
that's why I'm on PC side too. It's much easier to upgrade rather than buying a whole new
Now,
console.
and I know that they had originally talked about with a lot of these newer consoles being able to upgrade those parts, and right now it's just you would just buy the one with the bigger hard drive. But
Right.
I know that they had talked about having like a modular system like a PC to where, oh, you want a better graphics card instead of buying a whole new one, you can just plug that in. But I don't see that again. I don't see that.
I think you might as well just
being
get a
the thing.
PC at that point.
Well, and
Yeah, at
that
that point,
ruins
yeah.
that strategy of just selling us another console. So
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So yeah, exactly. I agree with that. That takes out the whole we'll just put out a whole other console.
Oh.
You know.
True.
That would really make things a lot easier for people. The people would never buy new consoles again at that point.
Right.
Right.
Yeah,
I know personally, if I could just upgrade the last one, I'd have never bought another one.
Yeah, do the math. I mean, you buy a new console every 2 years. That's, let's just say, $400 every 2 years.
Right.
You know, you do that 5 times, you're spending $2,000. I bought a computer for $2,000, let's just say as a base price, and then 10 years from now, maybe I'll put another $2,000 into it. But I'm like spending the same amount, but I feel like I'm getting more out of it.
Yeah, and that might be optional. You know what I mean? You might choose to do that. You might not have to do that. Whereas
Right.
opposed to the console, like you eventually. Will
It's
have
the
to do
purpose
that.
of the
It's gonna
intent
close
and-
you out if you don't.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
I have a question, Thick, if you don't mind.
No, absolutely. Absolutely.
Why do you guys think that there's so much hatred between, I'll just say all 3 consoles, right? Yeah, PlayStation, Xbox, and PC. It's your main ones. Where do you think that started, or why do you think that there's such intensity between a lot of people? You know, because most PC guys that I know say PC Master Race, but we're just being sarcastic. We don't actually give a shit.
I find
I
it
know a
more
lot of
between
people
the
on both.
console owner than anything, and I don't know what it is. I think it's just the competitive nature of gaming that just makes
That's
them,
where I was gonna go with it.
at
It's
each other's throats for no. I mean, I've owned consoles. I mean, I haven't really owned consoles for that long, actually. I got my Xbox One from my neighbor who had an extra one for some reason, and this one was bought for me as well. But even then, never in my life would I be like, "Damn, bro, like my console's better than yours."
Xbox like
How
motherfucker.
ridiculous do I sound?
Throwing
You know
up
what I mean?
that
I sound like an idiot. First of all, I didn't take any part in creating this machine. So what the hell? Like, how I can't even what? That doesn't even make sense. All I did was buy the damn thing. I don't know why. I think it's just hothead gamers. I don't think there actually is anything
You
behind
think
it.
PC gamers, a lot of us build our own machines, especially your first one, you usually end up building. Do you think that has a lot to do with the two? Like if somebody attacks a PC, then you're kind of like, no, fuck you, it's my child.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. You guys care a lot more about it because you guys put the time in. You guys put the work to put the damn thing together. I don't think a lot of PC owners understand, like, to the average console owner or, like, the average gamer, or how ridiculous that actually is. You know what I mean? You put a computer in front of me in pieces, I don't know what to do with it. You know what I mean? I don't know what to do with it.
my friend would say.
So, like, I could understand getting
Fucking
a little
IKEA,
more
what the hell is
upset about
this?
it. You know what I mean? I get it a little, you know. You guys would get a little more upset. You put a lot of freaking work in. You got to find the parts online or in the stores. Then you got, like I said, you got to put it together. That in itself is a miracle. That's crazy.
I think, like, the exclusive things they do, like, for
That's
example,
what I was waiting for, yeah.
Marvel, when you can only get Spider-Man on PlayStation, I'm like, fuck PlayStation.
The most Asian you can be.
Fire. You mean
It's-
I can't sling web unless I have a PlayStation? Bro?
Unless you have a whole PlayStation,
Right?
dude.
You can. It's just gonna get real messy in the room. You know. They don't totally understand. It's just.
Hey, we're all thinking it.
I
I
mean,
agree.
I
I
mean,
do agree though. I think the exclusivities are ridiculous. I hate that. I think
I really
it
think they
creates a
add fuel to
division.
the fire. Yeah, exactly.
It creates a division between them, man. Like, oh, look what we got, and look what you idiots don't have. Ha ha ha. And then it's the next thing with the next game. It's like, well, now who's the idiot? Well, and now I saw Call of Duty was doing that for specific game modes in their games, or like specific features, or whatever the case may be. It wasn't even a whole game. It was a piece of the game that they were only allowing certain people to have for a little while. I don't know
Yeah,
what
they would do like
criteria was.
PC gets
but
it a
was
month
certain.
early or some shit. Like
Yeah, something like that. And it was like it created such a like a spat over like, oh my god, you saw it in every comment section wherever this was posted or mentioned, and there's like 600 comments in a thread of these just countless people just piling on top of each other one after another, just talking nonsense to each other about consoles
My favorite comment
that
section.
they didn't, you know what I mean? Like I could understand
Angry
if they
nerds.
put it together or something, you know? Oh god, they're the worst. They're so vicious, man.
But
They talk so bad to each other.
We have the
in
best memes.
comments.
the best memes.
Gamers put
That's
out
true.
the best memes.
That
That's
is
so
true. That is true. All right, well, let's jump into another question. I mean, I'm enjoying the conversation so far, but let's go to one that I've got written down here. Overhyped games. I want to know your guys' input on games that just got so much attention when they were talked about, and then when they finally came out, it's just like, this is what we were waiting for. What game comes to mind with that?
No Man's Sky.
No,
he got it.
No Man's Sky.
Good.
that
I
might
don't
be the
even
biggest
play
one
No
of our
Man's Sky.
time.
That should really tell you something. I played
Did-
No Man's Sky for
That
like
one-
5 minutes.
What about that Cyberpunk game though? I mean, that game,
Oh, that's another one. That's the
that
one.
one got
Sure.
hyped for years.
you
Okay,
can have a
That
big
game,
dick,
That's
bro.
the
held
problem
it
with
down.
Cyberpunk is the amount of time that people were waiting for it. Because if they would have just left it alone, they left it quiet, and then people only waited for a
The
little while.
first
and then they put it out like No
announcement-
Man's Sky, cool.
Yeah,
But
the first
I mean,
announcement
years.
for the first
2077, the year it should have came out in.
right.
Yeah, true.
The first announcement for Cyberpunk was in 2013, dude. 2013. So we waited till 2000. We waited 7 years. I didn't even get it. I didn't buy into the hype. It didn't even pique my interest, to be honest with you.
That
That's
game
me.
never looked interesting to me.
But I know
It looked
so
cool, but
many
I never
people
wanted to play it.
who bought into this game just from the little videos that they put up at, like, you know, BlizzCon or whatever the cons were at the time. And when it came out, it was dead in the first month or the first
They put
2 weeks.
Keanu on the cover and people lost their damn minds.
It was so
John
bad.
We-
Wick was just coming out, man. Things were real, dude. John Wick was everybody's. You know what I mean? Everybody wanted to be watching John Wick or involved in some way with this man, and they put him on the cover. And now look where we are.
I never looked into No Man's Sky though, so I don't have really an
Man,
input on that
It
one.
was the same situation. It was just too much hype put into the whole thing. They hyped it up. They talked too much to the media. They said too many things. They put the guy it was some small indie company, and they put the guy who usually sits in the back of the room talking to himself or something, never talking to people. You know what I mean? He's a shy guy. He didn't want nothing to do with this, and they put him in front of cameras on national television on like 1,000 different occasions. They put him in so many interviews. That game had so much hype, and it came out and had nothing that they originally said it would.
It had
Not
a comeback,
single
though, I
thing.
think.
Yeah,
A
it's doing
major
pretty good right
comeback.
now.
They stopped talking to the media. They started focusing on the game itself, and they developed it into an amazing project.
So would you
which
say
is
it's
done. It did
too
so
much, too late, kind of thing? Like they waited too long?
No, the
Too little,
game
too late?
did
I think it's
amazing.
good
They
now,
were
yeah.
doing crazy numbers as soon as they fixed everything up.
Mhm.
They put like I think it was like a couple of months that he stopped talking on Twitter. He stopped tweeting. The company went radio silent. Nobody said anything, and then they just released an update out of nowhere, and it addressed like everything, and then gave people some stuff. You know, it was still missing some things, but it brought back everybody to the game. They had higher numbers after they fixed it than they did originally, and they're still doing good. They're still releasing content, from what I understand.
I know Avengers and Fallout 76 kind of were.
Oh, Fallout 76, yeah.
Yeah, Fallout.
That game was a disaster. I didn't even play that game, and I knew it was a disaster.
That was the problem.
We streams and stuff.
We all wanted multiplayer Fallout, and we were like, "Oh, out of the park, home run! It's gonna be big. It's gonna be the best." And then it wasn't. And then yeah,
not even close.
I didn't want to mention that one because it just made me sad. So
that one hit home for a lot of people.
Yeah.
They were devastated over that game. That was a terrible, terrible mishap. And the Avengers was the most boring game I've ever played.
Boring and just buggy as
so repetitive and nothing worked.
Yeah.
Nothing worked.
But yeah, for sure, I think Cyberpunk's like the one that comes to my mind recently.
Yeah,
the biggest oof.
One of the worst.
The biggest oof.
The best thing is you just have a big dick for once. But...
Yeah, that seemed to be the most like popular, most
topic of discussion. Yeah,
genitalia. You
it's always the best feature.
Character, and I think that tells you everything you need to know about the game right there.
Right,
that tells you it all right there.
Future games won't include genitalia specification, and they'll be automatically placed at a lower tier. It's just
honestly. They set the bar really high.
Can't have the big floppy. I'm just not interested anymore. All right.
Yeah.
The big
I don't know
floppy.
what they were thinking with that one.
So what
I've
about?
been waiting for them to add that to World of Warcraft for so long. It's just it's coming.
I mean, I made an orc, so I. You know what I mean? So it should be self-explanatory at that point. Oh,
this PvP.
It's a sash. It's a sash. All right. Well, what about games that you don't think got enough hype? What games came out that you were like genuinely pleased with that just kind of...
Rogue Company.
I kind of figured you were going to say that. I figured you played a lot of that. What do you think was its ultimate demise?
Maybe it's just different. It's a third-person shooter.
I mean, you've seen a lot of successful third-person shooters. You got Gears of War, you know? I mean...
Honestly, I'm the perfect person to counter his answer because, like, I played Rogue Company and I didn't really like it as much. Like, I could play it. Like, there wasn't nothing I could necessarily point out that was wrong about it, but I don't know.
For me, being a competitive person, I just thought it had great games, great hit registry. I just thought it was a good game. Really, the maps were.
And I think that's where they fell off. They should have marketed it a little more. They marketed it to more like casual players. I feel like if they got more into a competitive scene, it would kind of knock off.
I mean, Dr. Disrespect jumped all over that. You know what I mean? Like they wanted him to design a map and everything.
They let him design a map. They let him out.
The game.
And what happened? It just kind of like fizzled out.
It still has a small community. Like they have tournaments and stuff, but I don't think it can compete with things like Call of Duty or
Valorant.
Yeah, there's just too many games that are big right now in the competitive scene. I feel like.
I think it just got drowned out by all the other ones.
But at the same time, I think sometimes keeping a smaller community might make it, go longer. I mean, look at like Street Fighter and Mortal Kombat. Like those games are never going to die, and they're not like huge communities. But
all they need is a select, loyal base.
Exactly.
And who knows, even with that loyal base, if they keep it, and everything else dies down around these other games, that loyal fan base could really bring that game back to life. And give it, a second chance to get really as big as Call of Duty or as quickly as Valorant.
You always see on Twitter, too, the developers asking what needs to be changed, what they could do better, and they always answer immediately. I really respected that. I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, it's awesome.
I tried getting everyone to play that game. I was buying beta keys for everyone.
When developers actually take the time to pay attention, that's what the big guys don't understand. When they take the time to interact with us, and not just act like nobody else exists, and people listen. I like that. I like developers that listen and respond back to you and have open communications about everything that's going on with the game. Nowadays, that's what people want, in my opinion. That's
Would
what,
you
know,
say
want-
that
they
that's
want
like a
openness.
deciding factor in a lot of people's decision making of a game? Like the reaction?
Nowadays, I find more people talking about developers than anything. You know,
Right.
I've never really, a couple years ago, 10 years ago, even, I never heard anybody talking about game developers in my life. I knew a couple of people who were gamers, they maybe once in a while, but nowadays, like, people talking about developers. They're like in the limelight here. People want to talk to them. They want their lines of communication. And I feel like more often than not, I've heard people say the developers just didn't listen, and that's why we're out of there.
I think Row Company did it well too, because they actually hired an ex-Halo pro, Gandhi, to do like the designer. So they were asking a lot of his input, which is great. He's an actual gamer. He's not like on the business side of things. Like he'll tell you what the gamers want. He's always asking questions. He's playing with the people, getting their input. Like I think that's the smartest move. I know Halo did that, but from what all the pros say, they never took their input into consideration and just kind of had them there to say that they were they didn't listen to anything they said.
It's just in one ear and out the other. There was I know there's one streamer, Freemason Live. I've heard him talk. I used to watch him like all the time when he was playing Sea of Thieves, and he was talking about PUBG specifically, and that was the one game he walked from because he said the developers just didn't care at the end of the day. Long story short, he had a whole thing to say about it, but long story short, he said they just didn't care. They didn't listen to nothing. And that, like I said, is more. It's definitely causing more demises nowadays than ever.
Bowler.
You get games like PUBG, is the exact statement. Problem is, PUBG fixed everything. It's too late though. They already lost. They had what, 3 mil concurrent players at one point.
Yeah.
And now they're struggling to get 400,000 at one point. And they've listened, they got it all, but it's too late to bring people back. They've already moved on.
Just like H1Z1. H1Z1 was on top.
Exactly.
Of the
DayZ's there too right now.
Why play this when we can go play that?
Exactly. And it's PUBG is probably right now one of the best out of, everyone compares it to PUBG, Apex, or Warzone. Honestly, PUBG feels like it's one of the most not even respected, but like the best one that they've listened to since it's come out. But the problem is they've already lost 2.6 million people playing it. They're never going to recover. And people that you try to like bring into the community and tell, they're like, yeah, we played that, 4 years ago when it came out, and it was shit. Because it was shit 4 years ago when it came out.
My car hit an invisible rock and it exploded for no fucking reason.
Exactly.
Now, for some of us, that was the beauty of PUBG. Okay, that was the high point of it.
I love those meme games. That was great.
Touch another vehicle
I'm not gonna lie, some of those
into the air
were pretty hysterical to watch over the years.
Dopest part.
7 people left. I'm on a 3-person vehicle when it first came out. I hit a thing, went flying 30 feet in the air, blew up. My team yelled at me, said it was my fault.
Oh,
it
shit.
The one where you fly 700 feet into the air. Those are the best ones.
Yep. So games like that, they just fade off, and they end up doing stuff that they're supposed to, when they come out, and they just don't listen. And 4 years down the road, they did everything right, but it's too late.
Would you say that? Oh, you got one? All right, let's bring it.
Let me answer the question. Let me tell you a story.
Oh
quick.
God.
So a game called Nosgoth. I don't know how big it really got. It definitely deserves some attention. So it's essentially 4v4 single map. You would rotate maps, and it reminded me a lot of Gears of War, kind of the combat, the PvP. There's vampire hunters versus vampires, and it was gothic, and it was gritty, and it was fucking fantastic. You had different loadouts you could do, and it was really, really cool, and it was a good concept. The problem is the company that was putting it out, the developers had a choice between 2 games. So they had this game that I had actually played. All my buddies played, and we played, every weekend. It was fantastic. We all loved. And the other one was car soccer. And I thought, well, that's a dumb fucking idea. They're not going to make any money with that. And then the company put out Rocket League, and then Nosgoth disappeared from the face of the earth.
Rocket League is definitely.
I'm not mad at him because they made a shit ton of money from it, but
Rocket League, I feel like is a game in its like own genre. Like, there's no other. There's nothing else to compare it to. Like with battle royales, you can compare like Apex to Warzone to PUBG to H1, whatever. But Rocket League, you just cannot compare. There's no other game like it.
Maybe
Golf
like a
with friends.
side game in another video game. You know what I mean? Like
There was
mini
one
game
in a hockey
inside.
game where you were on like 4-wheelers and you had to get the puck in the goal.
But that's about it.
That's
Nothing
all.
standalone.
You know, it's
on
Rocket League,
itself.
golf with friends. It's all the same. It's fine. It's the
They're
same
only
game.
putting Rocket
big
League
deal.
in the category of like sports games because it's if you think about it, it's just soccer.
It is true.
But they're putting it like if you look at like gaming events and stuff, it'll be under the same category as like MLB The Show,
Really?
and stuff like that. Yeah. Because it's in like that 2K genre.
I was gonna
game's
say the
so
2K and
Yeah.
Rocket League.
What's the medal? Get it?
Twisted Metal.
The
What a
original.
classic.
With games growing the way they are, would you say that microtransactions towards the game have a direct effect on the outcome of the game's popularity?
Absolutely.
Does that make sense,
mean,
or
I
should I
think-
should I rephrase it?
Anymore, but-
I think they could kill a game. Like
yeah, absolutely.
when Battlefront was doing its thing, and then the microtransactions, everyone was like, "Fuck you," and they stopped playing.
Yeah.
for a
What's
good
that
long
cartoon
while.
game with shooting that was fucking? Oh my god, what is it? Payday?
Oh, Payday, yeah, Payday 2.
Payday was a fantastic game. Microtransactions killed it.
Killed it, destroyed it.
They can do that for sure. People, they get abusive with it. They like throw it in your face.
I mean, it's
Like,
all
alright.
not pay to win, right?
Well, I mean, it's not pay to win, but it's pay to have more fun.
True.
That's why Epic Games itself or an Epic launcher is succeeding so much. They just buy every corporation that has a good idea for a video game, make it free to play, and then put microtransactions all over it. Every single game they can get their hands on, they're going to do it.
True.
They offer their developers and the people who have come up with the game more money first than
Right.
Steam does. I think it's like 6% more money than Steam offers their developers, and then they just take the game, throw it out free to play, and then make microtransactions and make quadruple the amount of money that game was going to make off sales.
When I think of
But right
microtransactions, when I think of
They definitely hold it down.
yeah,
But they can ruin a game if they start.
I don't even want to talk about Apex in that first like
Dude,
night.
hey, I was gonna say, man. I was
gonna
gonna say Apex is kind of like that because I've seen some of these characters. My friends just started playing it, so obviously I'll dabble with him because he's very specific with his games. So he's the only one I'm gonna get to play with him until he finds his next one. And I noticed that some of these characters are like crazy. There's one that he just like spawned this thing down out of nowhere, and it just collects all the loot in the area.
oh
and you just get
Loba,
it right there. Yeah.
Loba, yep.
And you either gotta grind that game out, or you just pay for it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think getting the character is the hard part. I'm talking about like Wraith's little knife, the first one that came
Oh,
out.
the cosmetic, yeah, like the
What's
heirloom
that?
I
weapon.
spent $500 for that. I didn't even main Wraith. I never used her. I just wanted it.
In
And I don't know
Apex,
it now.
in Apex, for those of you who don't know what he was talking about, he's talking about the heirloom weapons. So every character, all the main characters as of this point, have an heirloom weapon that can be only obtained from purchasing packs in the game. And you will literally, it has like I think it's like a 1 in 250 chance to get. Okay, and then you got to think, so 250 boxes. Each box probably costs you $5.
I think
That's
it was
a-
like $500. You're guaranteed to get it, and they didn't do me any favors. I spent all $500. Tell you that right now. And she was the only one that had an heirloom at the time too. So, and I didn't even main. My buddy mained.
They have made it a little bit better. I will say this. I don't know, for those of you who haven't been on Apex in a while. Now what they have is heirloom crafting materials. Okay? And what it'll do is when you open a pack and you get these crafting materials, it automatically gives you enough to get an heirloom weapon. Now, before it was specific, like whatever heirloom you got was what you got. Now if you get these crafting materials, you can actually go in and physically pick which heirloom you want to get. So I feel like that kind of makes it slightly better. It's still a little bit outrageous to me, but when I think of microtransactions, and I don't even consider it a microtransaction, but I go back to this game all the time. World of Warcraft is one of the only games out there that you actually have to pay to physically play the game. You know what I'm saying? For a game like that to still be as popular as it is,
Yeah, for monthly subscription, that's
and I mean, and that's
Not
the
cheap
price.
either,
$15 a month, and that's a price that's never changed.
And you got to buy all the expansions, though.
Expansions and everything.
Yep.
Yep. And they
And that's
still
like,
have
what, 60, like 40, 60
and they
bucks?
still have microtransactions in the game. You got character swapping, you got in-game mounts, you got in-game little pets, you
Server
got
swaps.
transmit, server swapping. You have to pay
Server swap's like $30 or something, isn't it?
yeah, 25.
You can get like a character boost that's $70 or $65
Yeah,
or something like that.
basically they'll play the game for you to max level almost for an obnoxious amount of money. You
People
know.
pay it.
And
Daily.
and they exactly they'll pay it but to me the thought of them paying for it is enough to say this game has something. This game has something that other games doesn't have. You know what I mean? So I mean, microtransactions definitely a game changer. What's your guys' feeling on early access games? Do you feel like, because we were talking about Valheim earlier, right? And a buddy of mine had just told me that, like, for those of us who have played Valheim for a couple of weeks now, you put a lot of time into it. And then it's still in early access, but now upon release, talking about breaking you back down to square one, and that kind of kicked me in the no square right there. I mean, what do you guys think about early access games and them doing that kind of stuff? Do you think they should just like release the game and just call it, or like, do you think they need early access?
Illegal, I think.
You need early access. You need someone to play it.
True.
Yeah.
I mean, my problem is early access and beta testing. So I get it when you need someone to test and you need beta testers, and you get people and they're like, oh, bro, I've been following PUBG. Let me get a key. Let me get a beta tester. I want to do this. And now you have like, I feel like every single fucking game is unfinished, and they're like, it's early access. So
Yeah, Tarkov
that's
playing
not-
beta.
they
and
use
I
that
think
now.
there needs to be a difference between I'm testing the game for you because I want to, and I'm playing your unfinished game, and I'm crossing my fingers that you finish it, and this isn't just like some greenlit game on Steam that is not ever going to be finished.
Early access forever.
Early access forever.
That was a joke with Fortnite forever.
I think honestly, some of it should
Fortnite
be
still
illegal.
is early access, isn't it?
You know, Fortnite's actually making a comeback right now, slowly but surely. It's definitely grabbing the attention of old players that
Tim fucking played it today.
Tim Nick Merckx has been playing it, man. Like
I'll never play that game again.
no? Why?
The game it just ran its course.
It's not even
Yeah,
shooting.
yeah.
It's just building.
And yeah, well, that was
That's
my
my
thing.
problem with it.
I did love the building of the game, and like the shooting, and I loved the game. The game was fun.
Mhm.
Play with a couple friends, like shit gets weird.
Do you feel like it's at a point now where it almost seems unfair to play the game, because it seemed like last time I played it, I used to be able to go into the game and have a session, like that's what I started streaming with. I started streaming with Fortnite, and I could go in and in a 6-7 hour stream, I could get 5-6 dubs, no problem. And then
Right.
like last year sometime, I reinstalled it. You know what I mean? My kid plays it and whatnot. And I tried playing it, and we spent 2 or 3 hours and couldn't even get to like the final circle area. You know what I mean? Like the competitiveness.
People are building skyscrapers in 2
It got
seconds,
too
raining Armageddon
possible.
on your head. Like,
Dude, that was the problem. A friend of mine had it as well. He had a lot of games won in the beginning, and I think it's a little bit of their skill based matchmaking system, man, because you
Oh,
had,
skill
like you
based.
said, you were
Skill-based
winning 5,
matchmaking
6
is horrible.
games each one. You know what I mean? Your stats were probably pretty solid. You stopped playing for a long time. The curve changed drastically. The average player became what we, you know what I mean, when the first stages of the game would call like, out of this world, became the average player. You jumped back in, got thrown into the skill-based matchmaking with your stats, not even taking consideration any type of gameplay whatsoever, just looking purely at numbers. Now you're getting thrown into games with people who have been continuously playing the game. That's going to be impossible. In a game like that, taking more than a couple weeks off, you're getting thrown.
Mm-hmm.
You're getting thrown around. There's kids sweating that game out 12, 16 hours a day, grinding their lives out for it.
It's honestly why I haven't stopped playing Tarkov. I'm scared to suck again.
Dude, I'm telling you, that game
A week off, I'm
that
gonna have
game
to
is
relearn
so
the game.
fast paced, man. And you take one little break, and exactly what happens to you happens to you know what I mean. And then it kind of drives you back away because now you can't play the damn game unless you're insane.
Well, here's the big question with that. The argument that has always been with games like Fortnite, even other battle royales, stuff like that. Controller versus mouse and keyboard.
I think they both have their fair advantages and disadvantages. I feel like it's obviously controller with more frames, like that's kind of a pain in the ass. As a controller player too, like you got some kid with 300 frames per second, just cranking out. You know what I mean? That he'll laser you from across the map without even trying. I've played the game with a controller on a high performance PC. It was effortless.
Right.
It was effortless.
Not even just talking about like Fortnite, even like games like I said, like Call of Duty with like aim assist and stuff like that. Like
Auto aim.
I feel like we talk about PUBG.
Tim the Tap Man, like any modern day game that has aim assist attached to the game. Tim never played a single game of controller. Literally came in and they were like getting 20 kills a game, first time ever on controller. It literally is just he even, like one of his statements I'm pretty sure was, I couldn't toggle off the guy I was aiming at to go res my guy because like I was locked on him.
Yeah,
with the
like
controller.
If there's two people together, like you're not gonna be able to pick which one to aim. It's gonna just drag your aimer.
Yeah,
just aim assist itself kind of like makes it unfair, especially if a PC player has a controller. It makes it 10 times more unfair. I feel like.
Dude, the aim assist is so strong. I get caught in close quarter combat, and I can't turn around fast enough because he dragged me with him.
You're like toggling people.
Me. Dude, I'm already dragged out, and I gotta turn around. Can't turn around fast enough because I got locked onto him somehow.
Okay, but take it.
Work on the aim assist.
Take it back.
Mechanics and stuff.
Take it back to Sea of Thieves though for a second. I mean, I know Finale's had his fair share of game time in Sea of Thieves. I know Bowler's not big into it. But me and BT have spent a fair amount of time between both mouse and keyboard and controller. And in reality, there is no aim assist on controller in that game.
No, there's nothing.
So, would you say that makes it a fair game at that point, or?
I mean, keyboard and mouse has
keyboard and mouse.
Yeah.
In Sea of Thieves, keyboard and mouse has a very high advantage.
Okay.
It's like that in any game that involves any sort of shooting, though. A controller literally has you can turn in any direction, but you have to turn in a certain direction. Like, it's not crisp. Like where a mouse, like you play. Let's just take the best controller player, the best mouse and keyboard player. Probably the best mouse and keyboard movement is much more crisp and clean and snappy compared to a Xbox player or a controller player. I mean,
for sure.
It's just better.
It's the movement is it's unmatched. You can't mimic movement on from a keyboard and mouse with a controller. Doesn't matter how cranked your sensitivity is. It doesn't matter what controller you're buying. Nothing. No system that you're playing on. There's nothing you can do to compare to that motion that they have. There's such stability with a mouse and keyboard in your hands.
Yeah, because you can literally take the mouse and you can change the DPI. You can change everything with the mouse, and then in game you can up it even more. So
even some of the slowest mouse settings.
Yeah,
still beat the controller.
Obviously, skill comes into effect. Like, you can take me and put me against Shroud, and Shroud will kick my ass with a fucking controller in his hand. But I mean,
could be from me.
I mean, if you take two people the same skill level, the person with the mouse and keyboard will win probably 80%, 90% of the time.
For sure, I agree. especially with the Sea of Thieves thing, man. Especially with the Sea of Thieves, I gotta get creative when fighting up against like cross-play servers, some PC players. You gotta play a whole different. It's a whole different type of play style. And
Would
they
you,
can just move on you so quickly and so so they got so much more agility in that game.
well,
And like unlike other games, like you said, you don't have aim assist. There's not even like a. It's not even like oh, it's just weak or like they just need to adjust it. Like it just doesn't exist. It's not even in the game. They didn't make that a part of the game. They never will. But it's not to say you can't counter it. You
what?
just have to spend the time.
Yeah. What about people who take the mouse and keyboards and actually use them on the console? I know you've done that a couple times. Would you say that that is a viable option, or?
It can be, but like things get weird. You know what I mean? Like if you hold down W for too long, you'll start auto moving. You know what I mean? It's like sticky keys. It just keeps it just keeps pressed down. You know, or like anything with any key that goes with any key. So like if you're turning the sails to the left or right, you know, your A and B. If you hold that down for too long, it'll just get stuck. And you got to press that button. You got to press that key multiple times to get it unstuck, and then you can get back to normal. But even then, it's still like if you can work around that, it still can be a pretty viable option. Only with the new consoles, though. Because they did something recently in the beginning of the Series S and the Series X. It was a disaster if you put a mouse and keyboard on the console. The screen tearing from the frame drop was almost like nauseating. But as of recently, there's like very minimal frame drops when you're moving around with a mouse. It's kind of impressive. I'm not gonna lie. It's actually kind of impressive. I think they're trying to make it more viable on an Xbox for those people who can't get a console. I mean, a PC. You know what I mean? I feel like they're trying to make it a more viable option by optimizing it. But we shall see in the future.
All right. Well, let's get into another topic here. I know we've all been kind of up to date with, games that might be coming out this time this year or even next year even. What is a game that you're just outright looking forward to? Any game?
Diablo 4.
Diablo 4.
I actually don't have a single game that I'm like hyped for right now. Nothing's been catching my eye lately.
Nothing?
It's kind of got me in a little bit of a slump.
Totally Diablo Immortal. Can't wait.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Do you remember the announcement for that, dude?
Dude,
The first initial announcement for that.
You have a phone? You're good. Why are you guys complaining?
the video of the
Ungrateful
guy,
bastards.
video of the guy announcing it, and they actually gave him time with the teleprompter for like the applause and the cheers, and there just was nothing, and he just sat there like sick.
Sweet. So you guys are excited then? All right.
Bowler, did you hear
Never played any of the Diablo games.
You never played? Well, when you get your PC, we're definitely going to have to introduce you to the Diablo franchise, man. It is a different level of gaming.
It's so chill, dude.
We're going to start you with the remaster. That's what we're going to start you with.
Yeah, there you go. The remaster. That's definitely one I'm waiting for. Bowler, what about you, man? What are you, waiting for? What game has your attention that you're kind of waiting for at this point, if any?
Pokemon.
Pokemon?
Pokemon! Pokemon!
What Pokemon?
Oh,
I don't even...
Something new, right?
They have it's basically an MMO, World Pokemon. It's supposed to come out this year.
Is it a PC game, or is it going to be...
No, it's gonna be Switch.
Oh, okay.
But also the new remake of Diamond is coming out, Absolute Diamond, at the end of the year.
Mine is
Sorry, my
my
power went out here. We have a bad windstorm right now, so.
No worries.
Wendy here too. I think mine's a Total War Warhammer 3. That's what I'm waiting for. It's gonna be fantastic.
Total War Warhammer 3. I know you've been into those games for a while. What
Total
is it?
War, I've always liked Total War games. So it's just if you're not familiar with Total War games, it's just battle simulation games, right? So yeah, with Warhammer, it's just introducing Warhammer universe. So instead of you have some factions that have mounted knights, and you have some that have trolls. So you can go either way you want. So this is just like the third rendition, which I believe they're doing the right way. You had the original Total War, then you had the map about this big in your mini map. Total Warhammer 2, the map was about this big. Total Warhammer 3 will be the exact same map, just with the addition of it. So each game they put out, they just make a bigger and bigger map. So
That's pretty cool.
yeah.
What about you, Thick?
I'm with you on the Diablo 4, man. I've been following this game for a while. I mean, for those of you who are in my stream when BlizzCon was around, I was very into, because I mean, World of Warcraft is World of Warcraft. I mean, yeah, just feeding the information. But what I'm excited for is they're actually bringing back a PvP aspect to this game. We absolutely lost it in Diablo 3. It was non-existent. Like, if you wanted to PvP with somebody in Diablo 3, it was literally go to this little town, and it was who could one-shot who. There was no skill.
Meet me in the battlefield, bro.
It was there, but am I wrong? Like, there was no skill in the gameplay of the character itself to PvP in that. And now they're introducing an actual like PvP arena style where it's almost like a battle royale where the more people you kill, it kind of raises your threat level. And once you hit a peak point, now you become absolutely visible on the map, which is something I feel like they took from World of Warcraft during when they introduced the war mode. You know, remember what I'm talking about, boy? When you got an enemy that's just sitting there just slaying out people, he does it enough times, he's gonna pop up a little symbol on the map, and that becomes like a high priority
Like,
target.
Dark Zone and Division.
That's yeah, I've heard people
Yeah,
compare it to
same
Dark
thing.
Zone, yeah. But then they're also adding in a trophy system too, so from PvP. So it's not just about killing them. Now you've got proof. Now you get a little like a shelf thing or something in your main area where you can put all your little trophies, which I believe it's gonna be like the ears of the person you kill or something, and it's actually going to have their name on it, so it's like this is proof. Like I whooped that ass. You know what I'm saying? They're introducing mounts to Diablo, which is something we've never seen before. Mounts are going to be a huge game changer for just the speed at which the game can be played. You know what I mean? And they're bringing back the druid. That to me is huge. I remember playing a druid in Diablo 2. It was a blast. I loved playing a druid, and they're actually bringing in another character. I believe it was the assassin or the rogue or something like.
I like more classes. That'd be cool.
But with this character, what they're doing, this is going to be the most viable character I feel like in Diablo's history, because based on the talent tree that you make with this character, it can be a up close and personal, quick stabby, melee character, or it can be the ranged, focus
Demon
damage
Hunter type. Yeah.
Exactly. So that to me, I feel like, and I hope I'm not hyping myself up too much for this game, like we talked about before.
It's gonna be on our list.
But I do have some very high hopes for that game. Hopefully with what did they talk about this year, or they don't even have any close idea, do they?
Who knows with COVID?
No, they have the remaster in December and
Right.
for some time after that.
I'm assuming, and that's if they stay on track, and we all know Diablo's history for that. Let's talk about remastered games. If you could take one game and remaster it the way you wanted it, what game would that be? Finale?
Easily Halo 2.
I kind of figured you would go with that. What aspects, like, would you take things from each, like, all the Halos and bring them together, or, like, would you just remaster Halo 2 and just clean it up and make it look good, or, like, what?
I still think it looks good, but yeah, probably just honestly
Just bring it back and
graphics and just having the community back would make. I mean, Halo 2 was amazing. So.
Would you say it would get back into the competitive scene like it was back then if it did that?
100%.
Yeah.
There's still tons of Halo people that would play if they just had a good game, and Master Chief Collection was not it.
The newest Halo that's coming out. What is it? There's
Infinite.
Infinity?
They've been waiting for that for so long.
What's your thoughts on that one?
343's making it, so I have zero hope.
Zero hope.
Zero hope.
That's not very enticing. But you know what? Maybe they'll surprise us. You never know. Never know. BT, what do you
You
think,
only
man?
hope nowadays.
Well, you got a game
Honestly,
you would want to remaster?
I don't know. You know, it would be sick. Maybe like a new Tony Hawk game. I played that when I was a kid.
There you go.
I'd like to see something out of that.
I'd-
Didn't they just remaster that?
I don't know, did they?
The Pro Skater, like the one on, you're talking about the one on 64, right?
Talking about the oldest one that you could possibly get.
So
The very first Tony Hawk.
apparently they've remastered 1 and 2 recently. So I don't know how long ago that was, but
4 was lit. I played 4 for a little bit.
I like the one that had Margera in it. I thought that was
Just
like
give me like 4 with like a mix of the Undergrounds, because Underground 1 and 2 got pretty
Underground was
weird.
cool.
Like if they could put something like that together, I'd play those games.
Joined. What you got, man? Remastered games.
I mean, that's tough, and I think it doesn't even need to really be a remaster. I just want something like those old RPGs I used to play. Those Might and Magic games I played, they have a fairly recent one. It came out a few years. That's the new one in that title, in that series. But the gameplay's completely different. It went from, being able to roam around however far you want, whichever way you want, to the newer one is a tile-based one. So you move up a tile, left a tile, up a tile, up a tile. So you move tile at a time. And it just, to me, I don't know why they even included that in the series. They might as well have made it a different game. So I'm always just looking for that new RPG, the classic Dungeons and Dragons type shit that you can do on your own. It doesn't need to be an MMO. It could even be just single player, but that's kind of what I've been looking for. Something from the old days, just newer graphics and all
Like
that
a
shit.
single version of like RuneScape-ish, or like
something. And I mean, it can be an MMO. That's fine, but it's the problem with MMOs is you can't have them without carrying over all the negative shit that we're used to with MMOs.
what do you mean? The toxicity.
For example, you had Warhammer, right? You had a Warhammer Online, so it was just like Warcraft, just the Warhammer universe. I didn't like the pay, the subscription. So that was already a negative to me. I don't know, man. There's just something about a lot of MMOs nowadays that that it's more important to unlock shit with money if it's free to play. You have those microtransactions. The amount of like cosmetic shit that they're blowing up in your face every time you log in. I just want to go on an adventure, man.
It's less about the game now.
Dude
It's
in
more
the
about how
nuts.
the game, it's more about how
Right.
pretty you can look in the game,
Right.
instead of the actual game itself.
Don't forget to buy your coins from the store page, bro.
Yeah.
Like, I don't give a shit about that. I just want to log in and play with my friends. That's all I want to
Yeah,
do.
Right.
exactly.
Bowler, what do you think, man?
I don't know. Mostly every game that I play that I would want remastered has been remastered. Coming from Pokemon to Mario, even Super Mario. Like they have remastered versions all the time coming out on the Switch. But honestly, like, just give me Sonic, man. Just give me a remastered Sonic.
New
Put
Sonic would be sick.
you can get Steam. You can go to Steam. You can buy all the Sonics on Steam.
Right.
But it's literally just you're literally playing a 64-bit on each
Oh,
and
asterisk. Give me something.
oh, we're good.
back.
Thought your power went out.
Win, bro. Yeah, everything's flickering here.
What
dude.
about
Terrible.
Guitar Hero?
I mean, they come out with new ones all the time, but it's never going to get remastered. Company been bought out and sold. They're never going to come out with another one.
And now between licensings and all that DMCA nonsense, I feel like rarely anybody.
Yeah, like I played Clone Hero on my stream the other day. I can get DMCA'd for it. It's still a category on Twitch, but you can still get DMCA'd for it.
Absolutely. And nowadays, if your game isn't streamable, I feel like that takes a huge effect. I feel like if you can't, it's not even like necessarily like you just can't play it. Like things like that, like the restrictions like DMCA. I feel like that if you can't play something like that because of a reason like that.
Bro, you can get DMCA'd on a fucking sound in Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah.
Like when
you can
the
get
DMCA strike came on,
anything.
it was like the
any
cop
type of
siren.
thing. Yeah. You can get DMCA'd on anything. I feel like if that is a huge major issue in your game, you're having a hard time making it. I feel like Twitch almost has like 25% decision in half of the games that come out nowadays. If it's not flowing on Twitch, or look at Among Us. You know what I mean? That
Among
game
Us.
wouldn't have been
Among Us.
anything and all of a sudden it blew up on Twitch, and overnight they had like 80 million users. You know what I mean? I feel like you're streamable. Your game is streamable and popular, or it's not. A game like Guitar Hero would be cool to people, you know, who want to get some like nostalgic vibes. You know,
Right.
playing Guitar Hero was kind of sick back in the day. You get a group of friends or something, even family. Everybody just gets weird as hell. You're playing a bunch of music. You know,
It's weird.
It gets fun. It
Absolutely.
gets fun. Nowadays, it's like I don't know if it's that. I don't know if you could do it. I don't know if it'll give people the same, you know, excitement. I don't know if I could sit there playing Guitar Hero anymore. To be quite frank with you,
Hands cramping up and shit. Cause we're,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I can't. I gotta sit down. It's going so fast. I can, you know. Yeah.
Played for an hour yesterday. My fucking left hand hurt like a bitch.
Yeah, dude. You know what I'm saying? It takes
Just
a
an
physical
hour.
toll on us now. It's like, well, I don't. And you're not gonna market that to little kids today.
we're
absolutely
not
not.
whippersnappers
Get up
anymore.
and play the video game.
15 years ago when it came out, I did the whole entire thing. It was like the top 25 in the world to do it, and it was I felt perfectly fine. Did it the next day to try to beat my own score.
Absolutely.
Yesterday I played an hour and I thought my hand was gonna fall off. I had to stop fucking playing. I couldn't even hold the controller. I couldn't even play Rocket League afterwards, dude.
It's just not. It won't. I don't know if it'll fly the same way as it did. You know.
But yeah, honestly, Guitar Hero, if they could remaster that with like make today's music, because I mean I know they came out with a portion of it like you can actually plug your guitar into your like a connector, and there was like a game that came out that you can actually play like music on an actual guitar. But if they came out with like an actual Guitar Hero where they put like the newer music in instead of like music from like the early 2000s, is I think before they sold the company out, that'd be fucking fantastic.
Yeah, honestly, it wouldn't do too bad. I think they would have some success, at least, you know, being able to sell the games.
Right.
People would want to do something like that. If it was more modern music, you know, more current things that people knew. Think about the songs that were in Guitar Hero were old when we were kids.
Yep, no one wants to buy a game in 2020
Now,
with Paint It Black as their #1 song.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Roxanne. That's a banger.
Oh, absolutely.
But they don't want to hear that.
No.
They don't want to hear that. They don't
even know. They can't. They don't even have the age appropriateness to respect that song.
Right,
Straight
I think like Heart Shaped Box was like #1 on Guitar Hero 2 or something like that they were selling.
Yeah,
I was like, probably kids born after like the early '90s have no idea what that song even is.
Right.
Or what it's about. It's nuts.
Right.
It's not appreciated enough.
Yeah, they would have to come out with like songs like, this is, you know, whatever. Like they can't even say like, dude, I don't even know. What do kids listen to nowadays?
It gets into the issue. That's the thing. Like, Guitar Hero was based around like some classic rock songs and stuff.
They even came out with Simple Plan though. They came out with Green Day songs, Simple Plan, like some pop.
They tried.
But I think most of the stuff nowadays has like raps in it. Like anything on the radio that's a pop song also has rap in it. So like, what are you gonna come out with a Guitar Hero song and have like, you know, the first minute and a half of the song with a guitar, and then all of a sudden in the middle like minute and a half you're just sitting there waiting for like there's like a countdown when your part comes back.
It's like a one note.
Yeah,
at the end. Like, yeah, I don't know. It really. I don't know if it could fit today's demographic. I just don't see it. Cause like
what is Rocksmith? I've never heard of that one.
That's the one where you plug your real guitar in.
Is that? Oh, okay. Yeah. See, that would be interesting. I used to play guitar back in the day, actually.
That is an interesting concept, but it severely limits your audience.
True.
You know, you got to own a guitar,
right?
You
got to be good. You can't just Freebird. Play Freebird.
You gotta have some type of skill and knowledge of the instrument itself, along with music, in order to play that game effectively. There was also a DJ something. It was a DJing game.
DJ Hero,
DJ Hero.
It looked like it was gonna be hype, but then all the big streamers started talking about it. Like I can't stream it because of DMCA, and then the other half said what he said. It was terrible.
DJ Hero was awful. I used to DJ for like 10 or 12 years, and DJ Hero was just terrible.
Probably a disaster. I didn't even look into it.
Dance Revolution.
Yeah, that game's fire when you go to like
that game was a banger, dude.
I like doing it on the keyboard.
When you go to
Obviously.
Limited movement.
when you go to like an arcade and play DDR,
Huh?
Dude, the arcade with
the arcade,
lit,
you
bro.
go with that big ass fucking metal like platform.
You'd always
big
have
ass
some
box.
tryhard on there doing
Dude,
like fucking
sweating his
breakdancing on there.
fucking face off. That was what we lived for.
Yeah, some skinny
I'm
tryhard
walking
just
off
moving
the
as fast as he can. Be
boardwalk.
like, all right, big guy's coming through. Let me show you how fun it is.
Dude, just moving like a jungle cat on that thing. Nimble, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, sorry, I broke the up arrow.
Shattered it with my heel.
Oh shit, man.
Dude, I don't feel like they can reach games like that anymore. You know, I feel like I don't think that'd be that same energy. Dude, you used to have a crowd of people. I
People
live
don't
in
even
Jersey,
go outside
man.
anymore.
Come
What are you
off-
talking about?
Come off the boardwalk, you go into the arcades, like a billion people in there. Like he said, there's a real sweaty guy
Wearing
on the
skinny
thing,
jeans or
dude, just busting it out. You know what I mean? Going crazy, spitting, doing all the 360s and the jumping, and he's hitting all the notes. The hype was crazy. You know what I mean? People are throwing things.
they have
People are just
sweatbands
yelling.
on. Like,
Dude, I'm saying, like, this
Sweatbands.
day was planned. This guy came, he knew what he's here to do.
he's a mole rat.
Yeah, he knows what he's here to do. And the people around us were just all super hyped to watch this guy.
People would pay him to play, right?
Honestly, you know what I mean? And I feel like that goes back to, like, you know, you just can't. I don't know if anybody would be interested in that kind of stuff anymore.
Right. So here's the question right here. We've all enjoyed gaming throughout the years. It's a big part of all of our lives. If somebody were to walk up to you right now with $500,000 cash, said, "Here, you can't play video games anymore though. Anything. No phone games, no nothing." Is that a deal or no deal? And if not, what would it take to get you off gaming completely?
No deal.
Give me a mill, I'll call it a day. I'll hang up everything right now. I'll call it right now.
No kidding.
I wouldn't know what to spend my money on if it's not in like video games or computer parts and shit. So no deal.
I'd never pick up another controller or another game a day in my life.
Can I still stream? Just not video games? Let me out.
Hey, I mean, technically, yeah, as long as it's not
Just
video.
chatting stream.
You know what? Yeah.
you can't
Can I bowl? Can I bowl now? Just go to the bowling center. I don't have to play games anymore. I just go to the bowling center every day and stream.
Yeah,
Are you?
I'd put all of that in investments, bro. I'd just be living.
So you're saying you take the 500, or would it take more, Bowler?
No, I don't know. I don't know if I'd take 500. Because nowadays, man, if you put the time and effort into these gaming shit, and you start putting content out
That's like
there,
4 tanks of gas.
you can make that money. You can make that money nowadays.
Right.
Now, you know, back in the day, you could. Who the hell was gonna? Nobody was gonna talk about getting money for video games. 500,000 is a lot of money, but it's still, if you grind this shit out, you know, you can put that time in and get that result.
Right.
From what I've learned, I think taking 500,000, I can turn into a lot of money.
Absolutely.
And I could do that and use my time, and I probably wouldn't look back at video games if it was that.
You're not wrong. 500K investment in anywhere, you know.
That's
Yeah.
true.
I'm
Divvied
gonna
up among a bunch of investments.
I'm gonna be real limited soon anyway, so I mean, give me 500,000, we'll call it a day. I'll pack this shit up and send it to a friend.
Take it. I don't need it no more.
Nick, you need a couple new monitors? I got you, bro.
Send them my way, bro. Because to be honest, man, I don't think there would be a money amount. I've grown too accustomed to this.
It's a lifestyle.
It is, and it never was. For those of you who do or don't know, I was injured about 5 years ago, and gaming, I can honestly say, like, not to be the cliche person, but gaming literally saved me. Gaming and streaming saved me because I didn't just lose my job, I lost my way of life. I used to be, I mean, some of you know, I used to be a semi-professional fucking softball player. I was on 2 competitive teams one was sponsored by Monster and another was sponsored by Budweiser. I was set. And when I got hurt and that aspect alone was taken from me, like, I didn't just give it up. It was taken from me. This this put me back into an ideology that I didn't think I would be able to get back into. You know
It's
what I mean?
more than just gaming.
Yeah,
at that point,
it's gaming itself is a community. Like, regardless of the game itself, like we all can do exactly what we're doing right here. We can sit and we can talk about gaming for however long, and it all makes sense to us. You know what I mean? And the people you meet along the way, like I wouldn't be here knowing half the people that I know now because of gaming. So
Everybody in this room I met through gaming.
exactly. So I mean, I don't think there's a number. I don't think I could put a price tag on that. You know what I mean?
I feel that.
So, but yeah, let's take a second. We got some people in here, man. If anybody's got a question, maybe for anybody on here,
My man
we'll
would take the money for a bomb ass funeral.
There you go. Yeah, if anybody's got any questions, we'll open it up for a minute. And if not, we'll start wrapping this up here. I don't know any of you. Okay, Dio. That's a lie.
Dio, get out of here.
I don't think any of us know you either, so it's all right. Let me give it a few minutes here. What's everybody's plan for the rest of the evening?
Tarkov. And
I got
chicken.
Dixon.
Hearthstone and PUBG.
Farting. Okay. What'd you say, BT?
Gotta get to mixing. Got some music to work on.
Why didn't I get an invite? Well, see, I had
See
to
that
pick.
last comment?
Yeah, you don't know anybody. I'm going to partner jar and drinking the condensation. Okay. All right, buddy. It wasn't anything against you, Dio. It was just, I had to pick 4 people that I felt would mingle greatly together, and I feel like we've accomplished that today. I feel like we had some great conversation tonight. I feel like this was I enjoyed myself. I don't know. Did you guys enjoy yourself? I think
yeah, absolutely.
I
Good time.
had a blast. I think something happened with Join, but I'm sure he will agree.
I think he was turtle heading like an hour and a half ago. He had a code brown. He said,
Taking the Browns to the
Instead
Super
of
Bowl.
I disappeared from the stream, you know why?
Exactly. You know what? It's fine though. It's fine. We're wrapping it up now. Is there anything anybody wants to end with? You guys want to plug in your streams and any of your socials right now?
anyone?
Well, if not, I'll do it for them. Every single person here is a streamer. Their names from the beginning are their stream names. They all have the same for their socials, I'm assuming.
Yep.
You can do shout outs in the chats, right?
Yeah, we can do that.
You don't have to.
Well, for those of you who are still here, all the links will be in the YouTube. So make sure you guys go check out the YouTube. These videos will be uploaded within the week for that. Definitely go check that out. We'll definitely be putting in socials for that. So definitely make sure you're around for that. Those guys aren't important. Yikers. I want to take a minute and say thank you guys for showing up. You guys are awesome. I appreciate you guys taking the time to come and do this with me. We're still going to be streaming, you guys. We're going to take a short break. And, we appreciate everybody coming in for this first episode of Thicc Talk.
Thank you for having us, dude.
I appreciate you.
Thank you.
Appreciate you guys. And we'll take that break real quick. And you guys have a good one.